it out. Yeah. Oh. Preacher, leave it. Hey. Oh, no. Turn it down. Now. All the way down. Let's go. Down. Okay. Sorry, I had to cut it off because I needed both hands to put Batista down into submissive posture. Admiral got a bit too amped up with him, and Batista was ready to fight. Batista's a handful, I'll tell you what. He is a very serious dog. I've told you guys that before. Very serious dog. And he does not enjoy being challenged or disrespected at all. He won't tolerate it. And as he's gotten older, I've really had to kind of stay on top of him. And so, and I'll be honest with you, I had the thought in my mind of, I should do something because Admiral's energy was too high. And now you guys know why I don't allow my dogs to play so rough. Some people say, won't you just let your dogs be dogs? That's why. Because when you let your dogs get too hyped like that, it's only a matter of time before somebody takes it wrong, and then all of a sudden you got a fight on your hands. Now, granted, these guys did not fight, and as you noticed, whenever I said, hey, Batista stopped and he looked at me, but his energy was still hype. You know what I mean? You could see it in his eyes. He honestly reminded me of like an African lion that's like, ready to fight. He had that look in his, he was on a warpath, you know what I mean? And so I had to I told him to go into submissive posture, but I told you guys, very stubborn dog, and I actually had to manually put him into submissive posture, which is where I'll stand on one side of the dog, I'll reach over and grab the opposite leg, opposite forearm, and I just do this lift and flip, you know what I mean? And they plop down on the ground, and then I make sure they stay there. So, yeah, but that was a tense moment there, and a reason why, like I said, I don't allow my dogs to go around, playing too rough. I really do try to monitor the energy level because it's all fine and dandy until it's not. You know what I mean? And I can't have that. I'm not trying to have fights on my property, period. You know what I mean? Just not trying to do it. And Batista knows he messed up. Almost said effed up. He knows he messed up. He's sitting here very patient. Just waiting to get up. And so anyway, and I will, I'll let him up in a minute. Whenever I feel that he has fully gotten the gist of it. And then they will continue to be around each other, and no, and and they'll have to just get along, you know what I mean? And that's just gonna be the end of it. That's how it is here, you know what I mean? You have to behave. Cut it out. No. You have to behave. You have to do what you're told. And him, he's like he goes from 100 to like Joker, right? He'll be like, as you saw, he was like in fight mode, and then he calmed down, and now he's kind of like in this kind of Joker mode, like, oh, let me up, look at me, I'm cute. And it's like, no, I'm not even playing that game with you. You lay here till I say so. You see how his eyes are starting to close a bit? That's what I'm looking for. I could have let him up earlier, but I actually wanted him to try to get up first and me to tell him no. That way I know for sure. So if he tries to get up and I tell him no, and he lays back down and goes quiet, then I know that I have more control than if he tries to get up and I tell him no, and then he tries to wiggle out of it and he's not really listening. So it's kind of an ability for me to really assess mentally where he's at and whether or not he's going to listen or not. Cut it out. And also it's a way for me to just kind of test his patience and see how far I can push it. Because sometimes a dog will lay there, he knows that's what you want, and they'll just lay there, and they'll think, okay, well, I'll just lay here, and she'll let me up in a minute. And I will literally wait them out, and make them sit there until their patience run out, until they're like, I want up, and then I make sure they stay down. All right, you can get up. And you better behave yourself, you understand me? Behave. So there's Admiral, he came over. You can see, I'm going to back up. We'll see how well they do together. He's going to lick himself. They always do that whenever they get disciplined. And yeah, then we should be good to go. And the thing about it is, it's in those moments actually that are, it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, in the sense that of course everybody would like it if their dogs never acted that way. Sure, that would be awesome, but the reality is that those kinds of moments are going to happen when you have dogs in this kind of setting. And it's kind of like saying that your children are never going to get into a heated argument, especially boys. You know what I mean? And it's not the problem that they do it, it's how they handle it. You know what I mean? Where you go from there. And so we handle it, we address the situation, we make sure that he understands that that's not okay. I don't care if you don't like something, you don't get to fight about it. And as at least when I was growing up, so I was always real, I was the type to get an attitude, right? Like, I wouldn't start anything. That's the thing about me, is I never really started fights, but I would finish them. You know what I mean? I didn't like being disrespected. And my teachers used to always say, Rachel, you may not be the one that starts it, but you're the one I hear. So, and it was true. You know what I mean? It was true. And so that's why I got onto Batista and not Admiral. Was Admiral wrong? Yeah, I should have gotten onto his energy beforehand. That is a moment. Admiral's energy can be a bit too high. Having said that, though, it's you cut it out. No. I'm going to give it to Cashmere. No. Having said that, though, I had to deal with Batista. No, because Batista was the one that took it too far. Cut it out. So he's not taking me seriously right now, which is fine. He'll just have to stay there until he does. So, cut it out. Hey, cut it out. I'm going to make him roll back over. Cut it out. No. Mouth bite. No. No. I said no. Yeah, he's being a punk right now. No, it's very hard for me to do with only one hand. And Vitani is in the way. Cut it out. Vitani, quit. Go. Vitani, cut it out. Go. Shh. No. No. Yeah, he's being a punk right now. Cut it out. No. So that's a little bit better. Still not exactly what I'm looking for, but definitely better. Shh. Cut it out. Shh. Cut it out. So what I'm correcting is him trying to mess with stuff underneath him. Cut it out. We're starting to get a little bit better. Shh. No. Hey. No. Cut it out. Much better. So now he's more waiting to just... He's actually giving me eye contact out of the side of his eye. He's paying more attention to me than what's going on around him. Shh. Hey. I'm going to let him up. Go and behave yourself. So the reason I don't like them messing with stuff around them is because of the fact that they'll get more concentrated on that. You know what I mean? And he's a real stubborn dog too. Really kind of overly confident dog. But as you could see, it did work. And that's one of those things where you just have to keep doing it. You got to keep getting onto him, and preferably not whenever you're on, you know, he needs to have my 100% attention. You know what I mean? Not me sitting here talking on a device, you know what I mean? All that. Because the reality is that it's kind of like whenever you go into a store and you have a kid that's acting up and they're taking advantage of the fact that you're doing other things and you're trying to multitask, and they take advantage of that, versus whenever you have that one-on-one attention with them. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And so, hey, both of you cut it out. So that's Cashmere and Velocity. Cashmere, leave it. Down, now. Now, down. All the way. It's a bad dog. All the way, head down on the ground. Right now, Cashmere. She got in trouble for trying to take a stick. Get your butt down right now. You see, as soon as I started to talk, she took advantage of that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. She knows that I'm not giving her 100% of my attention right now. I'm talking to you guys. But she's getting in trouble for trying to take a stick from Velocity. Cut it out. Because Cashmere is too old now for her to be kind of throwing her weight around like that. So anyway, a little tough moment for us here. But those moments happen. Glad I got it on video for you guys so that you can see it. And hopefully that's a teaching moment for other people. And yeah, I'm going to get inside. The sun is already down behind the trees. So I'm going to get inside. And I wanted to mow, but I don't think I have much time. I'll probably start it up anyway. Just mow a little bit. Just to make myself happy. Because I've been excited about doing it. So, anyway, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Bye!